We will discuss about why Workday, what is the advantages of Workday, history of Workday, and so many things. Detail about the training courses. Cloud computing is a practice of using a network of remote server, which is hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process your data. Here in the image, you can see that lot of mobile, laptop, desktop, and all the electronic gadgets are connected with an internet. Okay, this is dot, you can see that this is the internet. That all are connected with an internet. If you want to store some data, you are storing into the cloud server. That cloud server will be in any location. Might be in US, might be in UK, might be in India, anywhere. Whenever you want to access the data, you just have to log in with your username and password and access that data. So you no need to store your data into your local machines or your personal computer. So one good example I can give you, Google Drive. You all are using a Google Drive, right? So what actually you are doing in Google Drive? So you are just logging with your Gmail ID and password, and if you want to store some data, you are storing into the Google Drive. And when you want to access that data, you can, first of all, you can access from anywhere. So you just have to log in it again with your username and password, the Gmail account, and you can access the data. So that server is there, centralized server. So whatever you are storing in the central server, or we call it a remote server. So you are no longer storing into your local machine. So that is the biggest advantages of cloud computing. Nowadays, whatever you are using, whether it's a Facebook, whether it's a Google Drive, and so many things, all are using a cloud computing technology. Okay, you are using a Facebook, all of you are using a Facebook, right? So you are uploading a picture. So where is that picture is actually uploading? So that's uploading into some central server. Some server is there, Facebook has installed, Facebook company has installed in some location. In that server, your picture is getting stored. Okay, and again, if you want to see that picture, you just log in into the Facebook account and you can see all your pictures. Same way, cloud, whatever we are going to discuss, the Workday, Salesforce, Oracle Fusion, SuccessFactors, all are the example of cloud. And the coming future, coming generation is completely on cloud. If you see next 5 to 10 years, everything will be moved to cloud. Because this is very easy to access, very less expensive, and free of maintenance. Like earlier, if we talk about some 5 to 10 years back, people have to maintain the server. Okay, they have to install the database into their local machine. And lot of infrastructure installation is there. They have to install a lot of hardware and software. But now the tension has been reduced. Customers don't have to do anything. They just need an internet connection. They just need a browser and a username. Apart from this, no hardware installation, no software installation, nothing. No server installation. Everything will be maintained by that company. If we talk about Workday, so Workday is actually a company who is maintaining all these things. You are a customer, you are going to use ERP for your company, you don't have to buy the software. You just have to subscribe, or you can say that you just have to take some space from that server and you have to pay the rent. If you are going to use for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, every month you have to pay rent to Workday. That's it. Apart from this, no extra charges will be there. This is ERP. So ERP, actually we are dealing with an ERP. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So we are not like a Java people or C++ people or .NET people. So we are not creating any project. We are not writing any code. We are not creating any project. We are working for the employee of the company. Suppose you are working in some organization. Let's take an example of Wipro Technology. So Wipro Technology is one company. So we are, if Wipro is using a Workday technology, it means we are going to work for the employee of Wipro Technology. Cloud computing consists of 2 words. Cloud, it means an internet, and computing, it means a service. So when you are accessing a software or a service through internet, that is called a cloud computing. So we'll see in detail how actually cloud computing works. So all the products like Workday, Salesforce, SuccessFactors, Oracle Fusions, all are called cloud computing products. Next thing is we already have lot of on-premises product in the market like PeopleSoft, SAP, Ramco, and so on. And all are performing well in the market. So these are already performing well. And what is the use of cloud? See, everyone wants to save money and they want a new technology in a less price also. If we talk about ERP, we already have old ERP system, that is PeopleSoft, SAP, Ramco, and so on. But customer has to pay a huge amount for this software. In cloud computing technology, first thing is they don't have to buy a software. Okay, the only thing is they need to subscribe a software. They can use the service and they can pay a rent for it. Okay, so here they don't have to pay huge amount as compared to on-premises. Second thing, company don't have to set up their own infrastructure. They don't have to install their application server. They don't have to install their web server. They don't have to install their own database. Everything will be managed by Workday company. And whatever rent you are paying, all the cost will be included in that rent. So all this thing, Workday company will manage. That's why we are saying it's a remote server. If you talk about on-premises, if you are storing something, you are storing into your local machines or in your local database. But in cloud technology, you are not storing into your local machines. You are storing onto the cloud. So based on the usage, based on the memory usage, you have to pay the rent. That's it. Here, huge cost has been saved. The software is very flexible. So customers are also happy with all its software because this is very easy to use. Okay, so they don't want to go for PeopleSoft, SAP, and so on. Still, customers are there. I am not saying that like all the customers are moving towards cloud. Still, old customers are there who are using this technology and they are very happy with this technology like PeopleSoft and SAP, and they are continuing with this. But most of the customers nowadays moving towards cloud because of this reason. Okay, because now they don't have to take all this tension of infrastructure, of cost, and all this thing. Okay, they have to subscribe and they will pay the charge as per the usage. I can explain with an example. If there's a confusion, I can explain with one good example. You all are using electricity in your home. So what you are doing, you are not producing electricity in your home and then you are using it. So I hope no one is doing like this. Okay, someone else is producing the electricity. So this company is producing the electricity and you are consuming the service. Okay, and according to the consumption, you are paying the amount. You are paying the bill. Exactly same way cloud works. Okay, so Workday company is having all the things. Everything is handled by Workday company. Only thing is you are using the space in that server and based on the space you are paying rent to Workday. That's it. Exactly same comparison with your electricity bill. Okay, so that's the reason nowadays and in future also if you see next 5 to 10 years, most of the clients will moving towards cloud. Workday is gaining popularity for HCM. Similarly, we have a Salesforce, we have an Oracle Fusion, we have other products also, but that is for different applications. But Workday is very popular for your HCM purpose. In 2015, it's become a top brand for the HCM. So as I said, Workday is actually an ERP for human capital management. It's very popular for human capital management, but we have both the applications. We have human capital management also and we have financial management also. And once a customer subscribes with this software, they don't have to pay any extra amount for any application. So once they subscribe, all these applications will be coming in that single package. If you talk about PeopleSoft, every module have a separate charge for this. Once you buy a software, again if you want to go with some other module, customer has to pay again an extra amount to the company. But in Workday, once you subscribe, you don't have to pay any extra amount. Both this application will come in a single package, and it depends on the customer. If you want to use both the application, you are free to use. If you don't want to use, if you want to use only human capital management, you just enable only the human capital management and disable this functionality. That's it. But you don't have to pay any extra amount for this. This is, as I said, Workday is very popular for the HCM purpose. This is the picture you are seeing it here. That is left side, that is Dave Duffield, and right side, that is Anil Bhusri. So these two persons are responsible for developing Workday. Workday was developed on 2005. So Dave Duffield, those who are already working on PeopleSoft, they know that Dave Duffield is the person who has developed PeopleSoft also. So after that, he sold this company to Oracle. So now PeopleSoft is with Oracle. And these two people work together and they come up with a new cloud product in 2005. That time, no one even heard about the cloud computing concept. And as I said, it's a unified finance and HR application. So according to the customer, a customer wants to use HR, then they can use HR. A customer wants to use a finance application, then they can use a finance. Okay, so it's they don't have to pay any extra amount for this. Next is higher customer satisfaction rate. So the customer who is already using Workday as an ERP, they are very much satisfied. You just visit the site www.workday.com. There you can see that lot of feedback customer has provided, their experience, how much they're happy with Workday, and all these things. Just visit the site workday.com and you can see about the product and the customer experience. See, every ERP is having some advantages, some disadvantages. So let's talk about advantages of Workday. What is the advantages of Workday as comparison with other ERP? So first is your unified suites of application. Okay, so unified suites of application, the same thing, the finance and the HR application. So if you buy a subscription, if a customer buy a subscription, they don't have to pay any extra amount for this. All this module will come in the single package. Only once they have to subscribe, that's it. All the module they can use it. But in other ERP, if you talk about PeopleSoft, then for all the modules they have to pay an extra amount for this. Second is your lower total cost of ownership. So this is a cloud delivery model. So as I said, you don't require any hardware and software or database to install in your system. The only thing required is internet connection, a browser and a credential. That's it. You can access Workday from anywhere. Like if you are in office, if you are in home, if you are in vacation, from anywhere you can access Workday software. Okay, but if you are working in PeopleSoft, then lot of installation is there, right? You have to install people tools and all the things. Lot of software is there. You have to install in your system. Then only you can use that. But here, because of this cloud delivery model, everything will be maintained by Workday. It's not like that. This software is not using servers and this software is not using database. It's not like that. This software is even cloud technology is using, but this will be maintained by a Workday company. So every customer individually, they don't have to maintain. But in on-premises, every customer individually has to maintain all this infrastructure. Third is your rapid deployment and faster time to value. If we talk about on-premises system, so if you are going to implement ERP for any company, it will take minimum 1 year to 1.5 years to implement. But in Workday, maximum to maximum 5 to 6 months. And also in PeopleSoft, if 10 people are managing your implementation, then in Workday, 5 people, 4 to 5 people are enough. So if you see, lot of cost has been saved and there's a faster deployment. Okay, because as I said, for a maximum to maximum, 5 to 6 months is enough for implementing Workday for any customer. Next biggest advantages is your continuous innovation and adoption. Upgrade is a part of life. You are using the same software for many years, obviously you will feel bored. In ERP also, upgrade is a part of life. Let's see, compare it with on-premises system. Let's talk about PeopleSoft. If new upgrades come, suppose for example, I am a Wipro Technology, and I have purchased a software, PeopleSoft software. Okay, I have purchased 9.1. Now after 7 months, one new version came, 9.2. And again for this upgrade part, customer has to pay more amount to the company. But in Workday, that is completely free of cost. So whenever a new upgrade comes, customer don't have to pay any extra amount for the upgrade. Automatically, it will be delivered to the client tenant or the client environment. Everything will be managed by Workday and they will not charge any extra penny from the customer. This is the big advantages. Suppose in on-premises system, it's happened that some customers are in 9.1, some customers are in 9.2 version, some customers are in 9.3 version. It's happened. But in Workday, it's not like that. All the customers are in same version level only. So every year we are getting 2 new versions. Next is your safety from the start. Now I know you all are thinking in on-premises system, I am storing my data on my local machine. But in cloud, I am storing on server. And that server might be in any location. Might be in US, might be in UK. Then you all are thinking, how much secure is my data? Right? Because data is very, very confidential. Workday has cleared the toughest security audit. They have cleared a lot of audit certification like ISO 27001, SSA 16, and so many. Certification, toughest certification, security audit certification Workday has cleared. And Workday is saying that you don't have to worry about your data. You just concentrate on your front end, that is your GUI. If still your data got leaked, then I will pay you 3 times the amount what you paid during the subscription. The Workday is challenging this thing, and till now we have not seen any data leakage or security breach issue. So right now we have 1500 plus customers, including small customer, medium customer, and a large customer. Still, like, it's launched only in 2005. So this is just a picture. So this is a single application, as I said, single application for HCM and finance. Now your people are not only restricted to desktop. They can even use mobile, they can use tablet, they can use whatever gadget they want. Okay, so Workday can be accessed from anywhere. No software installation, no hardware installation. Only thing is internet connection and a browser. And you can access Workday from anywhere. So that's the reason now you can engage your people. Maximize security. So the same thing which I said, Workday provide protection that a traditional software vendor can't. You don't have to worry about the security perspective. Workday will take care. You just concentrate on the front end thing. Always be current. This is about the upgrade. All the customers are in same version level. Right now we are in version 28. So all the customers throughout the world, those who are using Workday, all will be in version 28. You don't have to pay any extra amount. Workday will take care of everything. So these are some of the modules. So this is a beautiful tagline Workday has given. Built for the enterprises, delivered in the cloud. So this is actually all this module is built for the enterprises. So we have time tracking, we have payroll, we have recruiting, we have talent. Similarly, we have revenue, procurement, expenses, and so on. This many modules right now we have, and as I said, you don't have to pay any extra amount for this. So once you subscribe Workday, you will get all this module free of cost. So this is just a history of Workday. Workday was developed on 2005 by Dave Duffield and Anil Bhusri. And Dave Duffield founded PeopleSoft in 1987. After that, he sold this company to Oracle. And whatever picture you are seeing it here, that is an event. Workday is organizing this event every year. We call it as a Workday Rising. Whenever new upgrades come, Workday invite all the customer and all the partners. We have Rolls-Royce, we have LinkedIn, we have so many. If you want to see the list, we have some of the list. We have Adobe, we have OnHabit, we have Visa, we have Toyota. This company has switched their ERP from other ERP to Workday. So if you want to see the complete list, you just visit workday.com. So you just have to visit the workday.com site. So there you can learn about the customer. Okay, so you can just click on the customers tab. So you can see these are the customers right now. So only the big customers are showing it here, but lot of customers, 1550 plus customers are there right now. So we have Bank of America, we have so many. Nissan, we have Rolls-Royce, we have Thomson Reuters, we have TripAdvisor. You just have to load and you can see all the customers who are using Workday right now. So now we'll discuss about the tenant and navigation. What is actually a tenant? Tenant is actually a software which I am talking about. Okay, so this is how your Workday look like. So this is the Workday software. As I said, you need only the internet connection, browser, and a username and password. That's it. This is called a tenant. So let me log in. Okay, so this is called a tenant. This is how your Workday software look like. If you are going to work on customer also, the tenant will look like same. Tenant is just an instance, is just a unique instance of Workday. Like in other ERP, we call it as an environment, right? But in Workday, we call it as a tenant. Why tenant? Same thing, because we are paying the rent. Tenant is a unique instance of Workday service. Workday maintains totally 5 types of tenant. One is your production tenant. I hope you all know what is a production tenant, where customer real data exists. Second type of tenant is your sandbox tenant. Sandbox tenant is just like a development tenant. In Workday, sandbox tenant is a copy of production. So whatever data production tenant is having, Workday will copy this data into the sandbox tenant. Every week, Friday, your tenant will be down. Why it's down? Because every week Workday is copying the data from production and putting into the sandbox tenant. Okay, so if you want to develop some project, if you want to test something, if you want to configure something, obviously you can test in the development tenant. So this is just considered as a development tenant only. Okay, because you can't practice directly on the production tenant, right? Because that is a customer real data. So you need some tenant where you can build your project, where you can configure the things, where you can test your project. So all these things you can perform in the sandbox tenant only. Next type of tenant is your sandbox preview. Sandbox preview is also a copy of production, but whenever a new features come, so suppose for example when version 29 will come, Workday will not directly deliver the new feature into production. First, it delivers the new feature in sandbox preview, and then it will tell the customer to please review the new feature. So once the customer provides a feedback, then only Workday will move the new feature in production. So this is the process. So they will not directly deliver the new feature in production tenant or production environment. First they deliver in sandbox preview. They will ask the customer to please review the new feature. If customer is okay, they will provide a feedback and then Workday will move the new feature in production. So this is third type of tenant Workday maintains. Fourth type of tenant is your implementation tenant. Now I said if you want to build a project, if you want to configure something, if you want to test your project, you can do in the sandbox tenant, right? But you have only 7 days time to complete your project. Because as I said, every Friday, your tenant will be down because Workday is copying the data from production to sandbox. So you have only 7 days. So tomorrow is Friday. So again, this tenant is going to refresh. Okay. So again, from 1st to 6th, you have time. Again, 7, the tenant will be refreshed. So you have 7 days time to test or to complete your project. And if you miss to do that, then your complete development will be gone. Okay, suppose for example, till Thursday you have completed 80% of your work. Okay, but Friday you have not completed your work and you have not moved your project. to some other tenant also. And in that case, Workday will refresh the tenant and your 80% of the work will be gone. But suppose your project is taking 1 month, 2 months or 3 months time. Okay, suppose for example, you are implementing a payroll for your company. So obviously it will take 2 to 3 months time. So in that case, you can build your project in the implementation tenant. So implementation tenant will be refreshed only on the customer request. So when customer raise a request to refresh this tenant, then only Workday will refresh this tenant. Otherwise, Workday will not touch this tenant. So all the long time work, like if some work is taking 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then you can perform that work on the implementation tenant. Last type of tenant is your implementation preview. So implementation preview tenant is similar with your sandbox preview. So whenever new features come, Workday will deliver the new feature in sandbox preview and implementation preview also. Suppose for example, in version 28, we have 5 features. In version 29, which we will get on September, we will have 10 features. So total 5 new features will be there. And you are working on the payroll implementation for your company. Okay. And out of 5 new features, 2 features is related to payroll. And you are also working on the payroll, right? So you just check it whether the new feature which is delivered by Workday is impacting your project or not. So because of that reason, Workday will deliver the new feature in sandbox preview also and then implementation preview also. So these are the 5 type of tenant Workday maintains. So once the customer subscribe, this 3 tenant they will get by default. As I said, all the tenant will look like same. Okay, so only you will get a banner like this, like every tenant. So in production, we are not getting a banner, but sandbox preview, and all this tenant, you are getting a banner at the top. So all the tenant will look like same only. So these are the 5 type of tenant which Workday maintains. So this is just a picture. Like we have already logged in. I have shown you how the tenant look like. So you need a username and password. So when you start working on the client side or a customer side, they will provide you the username and password. So after login, this is how your tenant look like. So this is just about the basic introduction about Workday. Now we'll discuss about our training courses. Okay, so we have Workday SCM core, that is functional course, and Workday integration, that is technical course. Okay, Workday, if you want to learn Workday, there's a no prerequisite. Okay, it's not like that you should know Java, you should know C++ or anything. Anyone can learn Workday. It's very easy. Mostly it's a configuration part only. Okay, we have coding language, but that is also very minimal. That is XML and XSLT. XML, it is extensible markup language, and style sheet language. XML and XSLT, that is similar to your HTML. But apart from this, no other coding is required. So anybody can learn Workday. So in our training courses, we have Workday SCM core and Workday integration. These are the course details which I am going to cover in my session. So first we'll start with a functional course. So all this topic, like how you can implement Workday for any company. So we'll see this thing in detail. So if you are going to work in a Workday project, or if you are going to work in a support project, what are the things required? How you can implement it, how you can work there. So all the things we will see in our training courses. So our training starts with a functional. So these are all the functional topics. Once the functional is over, then we will move to the Workday integration part. So integration is little bit technical, but not too much technical like other ERP. So here, as I said, only XML and XSLT is required, but for other coding language, it's not required for you. Once the functional course is over, we'll move to the integration course, and we will see all these things: report, calculated field, core connector, EIB. So all this are the integration tools provided by Workday. Okay, so this is about the course, and of course Workday is very new. So you can search. There's a lot of opening in the market. This I am not telling. Just Google it and you can search it. Lot of opening is there. All the big company, whether it's Deloitte, whether it's Accenture, IBM, PwC, KPMG, all big companies using Workday. Okay, and we are not getting resource actually because just at 12 years, right? So we are not having too much resource. So still, like, people are learning Workday, and thanks for attending this session. Thanks a lot.